Fellow patriot, the United States has been on the brink of civil war for a few years now as we have become more and more divided. I fear that in the coming months, a series of events will unfold, pushing us past this tipping point and triggering a wave of destruction that will affect you, your family, your home, and many good Americans in this country. The very fabric of our society is now fraying at an alarming rate, and as tensions escalate, crimes such as theft, robberies, and home invasions will surge. The streets you once walked without a care will become full of danger, and your home, your last bastion of safety, will no longer guarantee your protection. Attacks, ranging from physical assaults to homicides, will become all too common, shifting from distant news to a harrowing reality. But this is just the beginning. These incidents will grow into widespread riots, setting your neighborhoods aflame. And from this chaos, a dire threat emerges: the risk of a civil war fracturing our nation. But this time, it's different. This won't be a fight between states like the old Civil War. There won't be a North and a South. Instead, the battle lines will be drawn through communities, workplaces, and even family dinner tables. Imagine living like a stranger in your own country, surrounded by danger at every turn. And it's not just me saying this. Media outlets on both the right and the left, political analysts, the Department of Homeland Security, FBI, opinion polls, and even President Trump are talking about it. They might not agree on who's to blame or exactly how it will all go down, but they're all sure of one thing. A tempest is brewing, one that threatens to tear apart the fabric of our society with unprecedented fury. And there's something that makes it even scarier. It feels like some folks are almost waiting for it to happen. Some may believe this is all about the elections and things will cool down after that. But the fact is we're facing serious problems that won't immediately disappear with a change in leadership. Essentially, the damage is already done, and the only thing the elections will do is to speed up the descent into chaos. For some of you, what I say may seem far-fetched, and to tell you the truth, I hope I am wrong, but the facts are undeniable. Hi, my name is Frank Green. I'm 44. I live in a quiet suburb of Minneapolis with my wife and two beautiful children, and I made this video to warn you and to help you protect yourself and your family. A few years ago, an event deeply affected us, and its haunting memories still weigh heavily on me. A stark reminder of my choices and the brink of tragedy we faced. In this video, I will share with you the moment when everything I prided myself on, my preparedness, my security measures, my belief in the sanctity and safety of my home, was tested in the most harrowing way imaginable. I believe it is crucial for you to hear this, not for my sake, but for yours. In the troubling times ahead, many of you might soon find yourselves on the edge of the same abyss we did. But first, I will reveal the three ominous forces converging to form a perfect storm of violence and destruction that's set to hit the United States imminently. It's as though these forces are intertwining into a dense net, each strand reinforcing the others, leading to a disastrous outcome that seems nearly unstoppable. Luckily, there is a path to salvation in these trying times. If you remain with me until the end of this video, I promise to unveil this lifeline, offering you the knowledge to shield yourself and your loved ones from the looming chaos. Even as your neighborhood descends into chaos, swallowed by flames and stalked by marauding mobs, you'll stand as one of the few that remains unshaken and assured. This confidence stems from having turned your family's environment into a sanctuary of safety, a bastion untouched by the chaos outside, a place where their security is guaranteed even as the world outside unravels. If you want a glimpse of what's coming, just look at the videos of violent riots that have unfolded in major American cities in the recent past. With widespread looting and destruction, with the beating and murdering of innocent people defending their property, with protesters burning the American flag. If you showed those videos to a stranger who is not up to date with American news, they would believe that the images are from some third world country on the other side of the globe, where they hate us. The tragic reality is that these images are from United States soil. The people doing these horrible things call themselves Americans, and this is merely a hint of what is about to happen on a far grander scale very soon. This leads us to the first ominous force contributing to the brewing storm, which will bring suffering to many American families. The year 2020 marked the beginning of a series of events that would forever change the landscape of our nation. Cities, once prosperous and bustling with life, became battlegrounds. Protests, riots, and civil unrest blanketed our streets with chaos. Many would have you believe that the catalyst for these events was a series of deeply unfortunate incidents. While these incidents were indeed tragic and unjustifiable, at a closer inspection, it's clear that these situations only provided the opportunity, and the true cause runs much deeper. Though the riots seem to be separate incidents, each with unique causes, the reality is that they all stem from a deeply established progressive doctrine that has gradually become embedded in the core of American society over time. This doctrine, which promotes radical change without regard for the foundational principles that have held our nation together, has seduced Americans from all walks of life, irrespective of race, economic background, or social standing. Influenced by these ideas, some individuals believe their lack of success is due to an inbuilt injustice ingrained in American society. For them, America is the worst place on earth, where everything is racist, sexist, or oppressive, and they do everything they can to undermine it and to ultimately bring its destruction. They don't even think a lack of ambition or work ethic might cause their perceived or real hardships. If American society were as unfair as they try to paint it, We wouldn't have to build border walls to keep out the thousands of immigrants from all over the world, of all races and beliefs, trying desperately to get into America daily. While there are undoubtedly areas where our nation can and should improve, this doctrine goes beyond constructive criticism. It seeks to dismantle the very institutions and values that have made America a beacon of hope and opportunity for people all around the world. If this progressist doctrine was not enough, something worse has poisoned the minds of the protesters and the American youth. Recent years have witnessed an unsettling surge in support for socialist and even communist ideologies, previously deemed incompatible with America's core values. The Occupy Wall Street movement from 2011, with its calls for systemic change and wealth redistribution, was but a precursor to the storm we now face. Some may believe that socialism is about fairness and equality. However, history paints a chilling picture. Every nation that has succumbed to the siren call of socialism has seen its freedoms eroded, its economy crumble, and its people suffer. The promise of equality often morphs into equal misery for all. Socialism, wherever it has been tried, has proven to be ineffective and ultimately leads to moral, social, and economic ruin, culminating in the physical destruction of many people. Those advocating it are blinded by propaganda, determined to dismantle our current system to build their flawed vision. A telling statement from an activist advocating for defunding the Boston police encapsulates their goal. Brick by brick, wall by wall, the whole system has got to fall. This mindset explains recent events and foreshadows what's to come. They don't seek improvement but total destruction, aiming to drag everyone to their level rather than striving for success. This aligns with the Marxist call for radical change through violent revolution. Some may believe the worst has passed as the riots have become less frequent. However, this lull might be deceiving. Just as termites silently bore through a home structure, unnoticed until the damage nearly leads to collapse, so have these destructive ideologies quietly taken root in our society, threatening its foundation. The quiet we experience now is not a sign of resolution or harmony. It's the deceptive calm before a storm that will put your family and home in tremendous danger. I'll give you just two examples of recent events that serve as stark illustrations of the dangers lurking within our society. The first is a seemingly benign event consisting in game consoles giveaway in Union Square that spiraled into a full-blown riot. When the crowd found out there weren't enough game consoles for all of them, they started attacking each other and everything quickly descended into chaos, resulting in injured people and indescribable destruction of vehicles and buildings. This was a raw, unfiltered display of what we can expect when real hardships begin. The second event is even more alarming. The swift alignment of certain leftist factions with Hamas, a terrorist-designated group, after their attacks on Israel. This clear support for violence and terror not only reveals that our enemies are already here, but also clearly shows how dangerously naive these progressives are. Their support for such atrocities abroad begs the question: if they condone terror in Israel, how would they react to similar events on American soil? As the divide among us grows, a second ominous force becomes apparent. It's our critical economic situation. In the last 3 years, we've unleashed a financial tsunami, spending more than we did during the entire 6-year saga of World War II. And back then we fought the Nazis and the Japanese, and we supported our allies. But today, our enemy is within. It's our own financial recklessness. The government had two options to get the incredible sum of money we've spent recently. With the economy on life support, raising taxes was out of the question. It would be akin to flogging a dead horse. So, what did we do? We borrowed, and borrowed some more, like a desperate gambler in a casino, hoping for that one big win. And now, we're shackled in chains of our own making. Inflation is relentlessly eroding the savings and livelihoods of middle-class and poor Americans, pushing them towards despair. More alarming than inflation is our national debt, which now exceeds our GDP and shows no signs of slowing down. This places us in an infamous group of countries like Greece, Eritrea, Lebanon, and Sudan, which all have huge public debt, and their economies are in ruins. Increasing national debt is a ticking time bomb, and its impending burst threatens to destabilize every American household. Our enormous debt stems from cheap loans enabled by the US dollar's status as the world's reserve currency. However, this advantage is under threat from the BRICS nations, who aim to dethrone the dollar with a gold-backed currency. Losing this edge could plunge us into a devastating debt spiral. Also, I won't delve into the fact that, over the past 40 years, we've essentially dismantled our manufacturing sector, cheerfully shifting it to China, a country we might soon be at war with. Compounding these woes, indicators like the leading economic index predict an imminent recession, with recent bank failures and a potential housing bubble worsening the crisis. In an economic collapse, society's foundations will falter. Essential services like electricity and clean water will become scarce, and homes could lose heating. Welfare and food assistance will fail, leaving the vulnerable in dire straits. Public safety services, facing severe budget cuts, will be unable to effectively maintain order, leading to a spike in crime. Streets will become perilous, and homes, once sanctuaries, will be at risk of invasions. This breakdown of social order will reignite riots and edge us closer to civil conflict, testing the very essence of human safety and survival. But before we delve deeper, let me assure you that this isn't just a distant analysis. I've lived through some of the very events we're discussing, and I'll soon share my personal account. So, no matter how things may look on the surface, or what the government may tell you, things are not good in reality. In fact, we are standing on the edge of a cliff, ready to fall into chaos. We just need a push. And now we have come to the third ominous force that I believe will contribute to the perfect storm that will hit America soon. It's our surging, uncontrolled immigration. Since 2020, global food prices have soared by 60%, significantly impacting even basic staples like wheat, maize, and cooking oil. While in the United States we faced higher grocery bills, our food supply remained stable. However, in regions like South and Central America, Africa, and Asia, even minor price increases push millions toward extreme hunger. The numbers are chilling. A colossal 345 million people, equivalent to the entire U.S. population, now stand on the precipice of starvation. What is striking is that this number is double what we had in 2020, and things are rapidly getting worse. Closer to us, in Latin America and the Caribbean, 17.8 million people across several countries, including Colombia, Haiti, and Nicaragua, are in a situation of malnutrition or even starvation. Venezuela's crisis paints an even grimmer picture. Over 500,000 have sought refuge in the U.S., but they're just a drop in the ocean compared to the 7 million fleeing their homeland, with their eyes set on the American dream. Because of the increased inflation and food prices, other tens of millions of people from South and Central America see their means of living crumbling. At one point, they will be forced to leave their homes, with the only hope of reaching the United States. The problem is that it is happening at an unprecedented scale. In 2023, the southern border witnessed an unprecedented crisis with more than 2.8 million people apprehended while trying to cross, including 200,000 who risked their lives by crossing a deadly stretch of jungle called the Darien Gap. As much as we want to help all these people, we must not overextend our resources. Just like an overloaded boat risks sinking and drowning everyone on board, our nation also has its own limits when it comes to helping others. Despite these constraints, the Biden administration has allowed a surge in both legal and illegal immigration, reaching levels not seen in over a century. This has effectively made the U.S. a sanctuary for undocumented immigrants, as once inside, deportation becomes unlikely. At this stage, I can't help but think if this situation isn't part of a bigger plan designed to influence the outcome of this year's presidential election. Currently, about 1 in 7 U.S. residents were born outside the country, the highest proportion in 112 years, a trend that shows no signs of slowing, with significant consequences already emerging. Migrants flood into our cities, transported by buses from the southern border. This forced integration, often against the wishes of many Americans, diverts funds meant for our own needy citizens. The economic and social weight is crushing the working and middle-class backbone of our nation. Many of these migrants, though young and physically capable, often lack the necessary skills or willingness to work, adding pressure to our already stretched resources. I am not even going to delve into the fact that a significant number of migrants actually hate the United States and would try to destroy us from the inside if given the chance. A critical concern is the sustainability of this situation. What happens when our resources are depleted? With no better alternatives and little likelihood of returning to their home countries or being deported by our government, these individuals may resort to theft, robbery, rioting, and looting as their living conditions worsen. Signs of unrest are emerging, with reports of bullying and intimidation by new arrivals causing fear among residents, echoing the troubling developments in many European countries. It seems that the leftists in Europe, and here in the U.S., suffer from the same mental poisoning that will bring our demise. They just keep lying to themselves that diversity is a strength and migrants are a blessing, no matter how many come in and no matter who those people are. The problem is that we will be the ones who suffer for their stupidity. If the current trend continues unabated, we may witness a scenario akin to scenes from a zombie apocalypse movie, where thousands of migrants swarm the southern border, overwhelming all attempts to regulate entry. When the lifeline of government aid snaps, I fear that violence will surge like a tidal wave, casting a dark shadow over the sanctity and safety of American homes. The storm's harbingers are clear. A corrosive progressist doctrine destroying us from within, an impending economic collapse, and an unrelenting immigration crisis. Each element, in isolation, is enough to bring significant destruction on its own. But together, they form an apocalyptic trio, amplifying each other's destructive power and pushing our nation to total disaster. First, you can expect a surge in crimes like burglaries, theft, and assaults due to increased poverty and diminished police presence. As police funding cuts lead to fewer officers, neighborhoods will become vulnerable to looters, traffickers, and gangs, which will grow bolder and expand their territories. Simultaneously, the collapse of social security programs will leave many, including migrants dependent on government aid, desperate and potentially turning to crime. This is not just my grim prediction about some distant future. This is already happening at a smaller scale in many liberal-run cities, and this will become the norm for much of the United States. Furthermore, a wave of riots could engulf the country, not just in large cities, but also in smaller towns, leading to widespread destruction, looting, and violence. This situation effectively places you behind enemy lines in your own country. Imagine your peaceful neighborhood suddenly transformed into a war zone. The familiar laughter of children is replaced by cries of fear. Your home, once a symbol of safety, now faces the threats of break-ins and violence. Your family living in constant fear, every step shadowed by danger. Streets that were once safe now resound with sirens and chaos. Your home's walls, once filled with joy, are now your last defense against the terrors outside. Visualize waking up to the news of your neighbor's house being ransacked, their family terrorized. Picture the anguish of a friend whose daughter didn't come home last night, lost amidst the chaos. Homes burned down, altering the once familiar skyline with scars of destruction. A local grocery store, where you chat with familiar faces, could soon be looted, its shelves empty, and its windows shattered. This is not a dystopian novel or a Hollywood thriller. This is the grim reality we may soon face. A reality where the very essence of the American dream is under siege. What we are facing next is nothing less than another civil war. I don't know how this happened that we now find ourselves living in some truly sick, perverted times when criminals are hailed as national heroes. On the other hand, honest people who try to defend their community, their family, and their lives are painted as oppressive, fascist, and extremist. However, amidst this turmoil, there's a silver lining: your ability to triumph. The simple fact that you are listening to this message shows that you are smart, strong, and ready to take charge of your destiny, and you can do that without losing your life or freedom. Next, I'll tell you about my own struggle through these troubling times, a story that will relate to the challenges many good Americans are about to encounter in the near future. It was in the middle of the night when I regained consciousness, bound and gagged on the floor of my own house. The first sensations I felt were the cold tiles against my face and the throbbing pain in my head. With one eye barely open, I saw an intruder turning the house upside down, moving from room to room, opening drawers, likely searching for hidden valuables. I managed to turn my head, only to witness a sight that would forever haunt my dreams. My wife, Amanda, was also bound and gagged a few feet away. Another intruder, who was keeping watch over us, loomed over her. As he moved closer to her, I saw her terrified eyes, wide open and full of tears, locking onto mine as if pleading for me to do something. A primal fury consumed me. I struggled against my restraints, every muscle flexing and straining, desperate to break free and protect her. Yet, the relentless cords only dug deeper into my skin, leaving burning trails on my wrists. Amid this terror, the choked sobs and screams of Matthew and Nina, our children, reached my ears from the distant recesses of our home. The basement, intended to be our safe room, had become their prison. I frantically struggled for a few minutes, attempting to escape, but it was futile. It seemed that the more I struggled, the tighter the bindings became. The realization struck me like a punch in the gut. We were utterly trapped. Our home's isolation in the late hour gave no hope that anyone would hear our muffled cries or notice anything amiss. I was on the verge of bursting into tears of frustration and despair. I realized at that moment that I had failed in my primary role as a man. I had failed to protect my family. I had failed as a father and as a husband. You may wonder how we ended up in this situation, in our own home, helpless and overpowered. As I said, my name is Frank Green, and I live in a suburb of Minneapolis with my wife and two beautiful children. I've always prided myself on being prepared for any emergency, and I thought I knew everything there is to know about home defense. The year was 2020, and Minneapolis was in turmoil with violent riots and escalating crime. Our neighborhood, away from the main unrest, felt like a safe haven. I was vigilant but not overly worried. Our home was a fortress, equipped with advanced security systems, motion sensors, and surveillance cameras, all monitored and controlled from my phone. I had also honed my skills in home defense, ensuring that we were prepared for any threat, even a riot. Each night, including that fateful one, I'd check everything: locks, alarms, cameras. Our basement was a stocked safe room, ready for emergencies. My firearm was within reach, and our family had practiced safety drills regularly. I was confident in our preparations, believing our home to be the safest on the block. But that night, as I lay immobilized on the floor, all those preparations seemed like a cruel joke. It was a Sunday in May, just after 2 a.m. when Amanda and I were startled awake by an odd noise. The sound of muffled voices and drawers being opened downstairs sent a wave of panic through me. Strangers were in our house. I couldn't understand how on earth they had bypassed our elaborate security system, which I had checked thoroughly before bed. In disbelief, I tried calling 911, but the call wouldn't go through. The network was congested, overloaded with the night's surge of emergency calls. Even more alarming, our security camera feed was offline and the electricity was out. The power outage had knocked out our Wi-Fi, and with it, the smart features of our home security. We both realized the severity of our predicament. The thought of our children, Matthew and Nina, sleeping nearby, and the risk of the intruders coming upstairs, filled us with dread. Our well-equipped basement safe room, meant to be our sanctuary, was now out of reach. Faced with the invasion of our home, I knew I had to act quickly. I instructed Amanda to protect the children and keep trying to call for help. Armed and determined to defend my family, I confronted the intruders, making it clear I was ready to use force. For a moment, it seemed they had fled, hearing my warning. I cautiously moved downstairs to secure the house, with my handgun ready. But as I checked the hallway, I was suddenly blinded by an intense flash of light, followed by a sharp blow to my head. Overwhelmed, I collapsed into darkness. When I woke up, lying there, bound and helpless, I felt a crushing sense of defeat. The thought that I had failed to protect my family was overwhelming. Desperation and frustration were about to consume me when suddenly everything changed. A commanding voice filled the room, directing the intruders to drop their guns and hit the floor if they didn't want to get shot. Almost instantly, they complied, and within moments, they were disarmed and restrained. Shortly after, my family and I were liberated from our dire situation. I realized our rescuer was Richard, our unassuming neighbor from 2 houses down. It took hours for the police to arrive due to the riots, but when they did, the intruders were arrested. The investigation that followed revealed a sobering reality. The seasoned criminals had been closely monitoring several houses in our neighborhood, biding their time for the ideal opportunity to strike. Unfortunately for us, our house stood out because it looked slightly better compared to neighboring homes. Additionally, our home's somewhat isolated position from the others only added to its appeal for them. The chaos of the ongoing riots and an unexpected blackout on our street had provided them with a perfect opportunity. After we went to sleep, our area was struck by a power outage. Unfortunately, our home's electrical supply failed to switch to the backup battery power as it should have, rendering our security system completely inoperative. Seizing this chance, the burglars forced the garage door to make their entry into the house. Once the burglars had subdued me, they persuaded my wife and children to leave their hiding spots by threatening to harm me. With us tied up, the 2 burglars thought they had all the time in the world to do whatever they wanted with us and our belongings. But that's when Richard intervened, and we were miraculously saved. Our experience was terrifying, but it could have ended tragically. What puzzled me most was Richard, our neighbor who unexpectedly became our hero. We had known each other for years, but only superficially. I had always thought he was a retired factory worker, but after that frightening night, I saw a different side of him. We began getting to know each other better when we started inviting him for dinner occasionally. He had been living alone with his dog since his wife passed away, and he seemed to appreciate our companionship. Over time, we gradually became friends. I was curious about how he had managed to help us so effectively that night. He mentioned that since the onset of the riots, he had been extremely observant of all activities around. Days before the incident, he spotted a suspicious car in our neighborhood, which returned on the day of the attack. That night, he noticed the blackout, but it was his dog's unusual behavior that alerted him to something being amiss, so he went outside to check. Seeing our garage door ajar, which the intruders had left open, confirmed his suspicions. His timely intervention was crucial in helping us in our moment of need. After the dreadful events of that night, I became obsessed with home security. However, Richard's perspective surprised me. He frankly pointed out that my well-intentioned efforts to secure our home had inadvertently made it more noticeable to criminals. According to him, conspicuous security measures often just indicate that there's probably something valuable inside, and at best, they might deter some of the inexperienced burglars. Furthermore, the fact that our house appeared somewhat better than the others essentially painted a huge target on it. This visibility could have been disastrous if rioters had come nearby, or in any other type of conflict, such as a civil war. Reluctantly, I followed his advice. After what happened, it was obvious that my method had failed, and it seemed he possessed a depth of knowledge far beyond what he showed. First, he taught me to look at our house from the perspective of a potential intruder to find all the weak spots that could be exploited. He suggested not just fortifying our home, but also making it blend in. We started by making some of our security cameras and motion sensors less noticeable. Richard also recommended replacing our conspicuous fences with hedges and natural barriers that were effective but didn't draw attention. He introduced me to the idea of defense in depth, using multiple security layers to slow down intruders. We added things like door braces and several rows of DIY tripwires that worked without electricity. We also updated our emergency plans. Instead of just one safe room, Richard recommended creating several fallback spots in the house, each equipped for emergency communication and escape. Above all, he stressed the critical need to stay alert to our immediate surroundings and beyond, constantly gathering information from various sources. He highlighted that combining this vigilance with learning to trust my instincts is crucial, especially in civil conflicts that can escalate rapidly and catch us off guard. With his guidance, our home became less noticeable yet more secure, reflecting a change in our mindset as well as our security approach. Over time, this change was evident in our family's behavior. We started to regain our confidence, became more alert and empowered. But despite our friendship, Richard's past remained shrouded in mystery. Every question deflected, every attempt to probe met with cryptic hints about having seen things. This didn't deter me, it made me more curious. Was he ex-military, a clandestine operative, or something altogether different? A severe storm brought his skills to the fore again. When our house became a makeshift shelter for neighbors, he led the relief effort with quiet authority. Here was the same calm I'd seen that terrifying night. He praised my efforts in helping not only my family but also our neighbors using many of the skills I learned from him. Seizing the moment, I finally asked Richard about his mysterious background. After a moment of reflection, he suggested that it might be time to reveal his secretive past, considering that now he knew that I could be trusted. Richard disclosed that he had spent much of his career as a special operations agent, undertaking various covert missions globally, from training guerrillas to leading coups and rebellions, often deep in enemy territory with little support. He kept the specifics, like names and locations, confidential. Although after seeing his skills at work, it wasn't a complete surprise, his disclosure was nevertheless mind-blowing. Richard wasn't just a tough guy, he was a real hero with experiences that could fill books. However, he also seemed to be thinking deeply about his past and feeling some regret. Some decisions he'd made, people he'd helped, had taken dark turns. His actions haunted him. Though I didn't judge his past actions, it was clear the unassuming facade hid a remarkable man. Now I was truly fascinated. There was so much more to learn from this unlikely hero. Intrigued by his calm under pressure, his strength without the typical tough guy persona, I asked him about his secret. His answer was cryptic, yet eye-opening. Appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak. He explained that this was old wisdom smart leaders use. It means you shouldn't let enemies or even most friends know your real strengths or weaknesses. The power you have often comes from how you appear to others. Showing too much strength might make some people envious and want to harm you. But it can also scare off those who might try to attack you in other situations. That's why it's important to be careful about how you show yourself to the world. This principle is widely used in nature too. For instance, birds pretend to be injured to distract predators from their nests, and harmless animals mimic more dangerous ones to avoid being attacked. In conventional wars, the military uses this tactic quite often, but guerrillas use this tactic all the time. I spent hours and hours listening and learning from his stories and history lessons. All his advice about how to protect my home made even more sense now. At that time, I thought we should share Richard's priceless knowledge, as many good Americans were hurt or lost their possessions in the riots and could have protected themselves better with this information. I was familiar with all the available literature on home defense, yet none compared to the unparalleled advice Richard provided me, particularly regarding safeguarding my home amidst a civil conflict. Initially, he was hesitant. He was concerned about the misuse of his knowledge and didn't want any attention. At that time, he believed the riots were isolated incidents. However, his view changed recently as he recognized the growing risk of larger conflicts, possibly even a civil war in the United States. Moved by the potential harm this unrest could cause, he agreed to share his advice on the condition that his identity remain concealed. He had secrets from his past that he swore to take with him to the grave, and he prefers to live anonymously. He entrusted me to share his knowledge responsibly, focusing on helping families protect themselves. So, we developed a revolutionary program that will teach you how to protect your home and your family during the troubled times that we live in and in those that expect us ahead. Richard's expertise is invaluable because of his unique background. He often operated solo in hostile territories, relying solely on his wit and minimal resources for survival. He has faced various crises, understanding the dynamics of peaceful protests turning violent, and strategies for survival in extreme situations like civil wars. His expertise covers everything from home security against burglars or rioters to self-defense on the streets. Currently, we're witnessing the beginnings of a civil conflict that's likely to escalate. In such times, self-reliance and support from like-minded individuals become crucial. Don't expect too much help from the police or the military. Even if they swore to protect Americans in America, they must follow orders, and who gives those orders matters a lot. Our program is designed not just for self-protection, but also as a means of building a community of resilience. In these challenging times, no one can stand alone. Forming alliances is key. So far, the unrest and violence have been mostly in major cities, but we anticipate this spreading nationwide in the next few months. This program is more than about defending your home, it's a call to awareness. Just speaking out about the disaster we are facing next is a danger in itself, because when others have done the same thing, they were labeled as extremists, and their credibility was destroyed. But now the situation has escalated to physical attacks, and it's only going to get worse. You may be thinking that there are plenty of home defense programs out there, and why should you need another one? The reason is simple. Most existing programs aren't tailored to our current situation. They either rely on outdated, standard tactics that might have been effective in the past, but fall short against current threats, or focus on scenarios that are far-fetched for most people, such as a direct military attack on our soil by a foreign nation, or a complete collapse of all infrastructure where you will need extreme wilderness survival skills. While intriguing, these situations are not what the average person is likely to encounter. Additionally, some programs recommend intricate and expensive security measures, like sophisticated surveillance and security systems. However, these are often no more than expensive toys for adults, offering limited real-world value. That's why you need a comprehensive guide specifically designed to tackle the challenges of our time. And you will find this guide in the meticulously crafted program that Richard and I worked so hard to create. It's called Guerrilla Home Defense, and now I'll show you a bit of what's inside. Our program fully covers all three stages of the impending crisis in America. We address the current wave of crimes like break-ins, attacks, and home invasions. Then, we tackle the turmoil of riots and looting, incidents that have recently shaken our nation. And finally, we prepare you for the possibility of a civil war, a distressing yet increasingly likely scenario in our divided country. But before we dive into the core of our program, we first delve deep into the world of guerrilla tactics and mindset, where strategic thinking and adaptability outmatch brute force. Learn how to become a cunning defender of your sanctuary, leveraging ingenuity and an in-depth understanding of your surroundings to ensure your family's security. It's not about learning new, highly complicated skills. It's more about becoming a wiser defender of your home and your family by thinking differently and finding out a few secrets that will put you one step ahead of those who might want to harm you. You'll uncover a few key principles that make you unbeatable in any crisis. Our guide doesn't just prepare you for specific threats, it also equips you to handle any unexpected challenge independently and confidently. Learn the secrets to maintaining constant vigilance effortlessly. Shape your family into a resilient, quick-thinking team that's always prepared to act swiftly and smartly against any danger. Gain the ability to adapt on the fly, turning every part of your environment into a tactical advantage. Master hit-and-run strategies that frustrate and wear down intruders without direct confrontation. Delve into guerrilla tactics that focus on deception and mobility. Learn how to effectively conceal your readiness and strike when least expected, making you a formidable opponent against any threat. Explore the psychological aspects of home defense. Understand how to demoralize and deter potential intruders with strategic deception and mind games that make physical confrontation the last resort. Learn the guerrilla art of stealth preparation, where the true extent of your readiness is your best kept secret and surprise is your greatest weapon. This isn't just about being ready for anything, it's about ensuring peace of mind, knowing you have the upper hand even when threats are unseen. Dive into the secrets of evading modern surveillance and prying eyes, becoming a ghost in a world that watches too closely. Learn to move unseen, gather information without detection, and protect your privacy against intrusions. This knowledge offers you freedom and control, ensuring you're always the one with the advantage. You'll discover the 3 essential technical skills that are easy to acquire yet priceless during crises. Equipment, vehicles, and tools can often fail when you need them the most, potentially derailing your entire plan. Imagine feeling confident in your ability to handle any malfunction or to swiftly improvise a solution to any problem. Learn not just to choose survival gear, but to select the exact equipment that will save lives in extreme conditions. We delve into what truly matters in preparedness, from tactical clothing to essential gadgets, ensuring you're equipped to protect what's most precious to you. This isn't just about having these items, but mastering their application in real-world scenarios. Most importantly, we provide a comprehensive 12-step action plan rooted in guerrilla tactics, vital not only for extreme scenarios, but also for everyday challenging situations. This guide empowers you with skills in observation, planning, and strategic thinking, making you adaptable and resilient in any high-stress or uncertain environment. In essence, this program not only equips you with guerrilla tactics, but also introduces you to asymmetric defense principles, teaching you to identify and exploit attackers' weaknesses. Learn to protect your home with minimal effort and cost, ensuring you can always safeguard your sanctuary against any threat. Surviving challenging situations like riots or civil wars is much easier if you are part of a well-coordinated team. Learn how to assess trustworthiness and build a cohesive unit that stands strong together in any crisis. At the heart of safeguarding your home and loved ones is the fundamental skill of self-defense, a key area where many falter. This guide doesn't just show techniques, it builds confidence and competence, ensuring you're prepared to defend what matters most when faced with a threat. Before delving into the heart of the program, we address a vital issue: the fine line between legitimate self-defense and the legal risks of misusing force in protecting yourself or your property. In guerrilla home defense, you'll gain insights into 3 powerful techniques that equip you with the psychological resilience of a warrior. Imagine being able to turn fear, that crippling emotion, into your strongest ally, fueling decisive, calm action. From the unsuspecting dangers outside your home to the deceptively calm streets and crowded public spaces, we equip you with the wisdom to identify and defuse threats before they escalate. Imagine being able to read a situation accurately, understanding when to de-escalate and when to assertively defend yourself. This program isn't about turning you into a fighter, it's about transforming you into a strategist, someone who knows how to avoid danger but can stand their ground if the need arises. Learn to use your posture, appearance, and expression to convey a message of strength and control that will act as an unseen shield against aggression. While real-life experience is invaluable, we introduce a safer, equally effective method of self-defense training. This approach minimizes risk while providing you with critical knowledge and skills, ensuring you're prepared without exposure to harm. We offer practical advice on seamlessly blending into any crowd, enabling you to become virtually invisible. This skill is crucial for escaping various perilous situations, ranging from civil unrest to the risks encountered in daily life, offering you peace of mind wherever you go. And for the most vulnerable, children and younger women, we offer practical tips to prevent and escape kidnapping scenarios. We also delve into the vital process of integrating your children into the family's home defense plan, tailoring roles and responsibilities to their age and abilities. This ensures the entire family is prepared, fostering a sense of security and teamwork in facing any challenges together. Additionally, we delve into selecting the right self-defense class. With our guidance, learn to sift through various programs, focusing on practical, realistic scenarios. We help you match a class to your physical condition, age, and psychological state, ensuring it aligns with your personal defense goals. Our program features a critical section on choosing the ideal firearm for self-defense, focusing on quick access and readiness, vital for unforeseen situations. We steer you through smart, practical choices, blending concealment with ease of use. In the next section, we go back to the main theme of our program, home defense. We will show you first what you can do to protect your home against common crimes like burglaries, theft, and home invasion. First, we'll help you peek into the minds of criminals, gaining insight into their tactics and techniques, what motivates and what deters them, and use this knowledge to turn your home into an unassailable stronghold, where you're always one step ahead. We'll take you step by step through a detailed security audit of your home, from assessing the safety of your neighborhood to scrutinizing every nook and cranny of your living space. This thorough analysis ensures that you've covered all bases, leaving no stone unturned in protecting your domain. Transform your understanding of your neighborhood from a mere collection of homes to a strategic chessboard. You'll learn to read the subtle signs of safety and risk around you, turning your environment into an asset for your home's security. But there's more. Discover how to make your home blend into its surroundings, avoiding unwanted attention while secretly fortifying it against threats. Imagine the confidence that comes with knowing your home is a bastion of safety, cleverly disguised as an ordinary space, ensuring you and your family live in a secure yet welcoming environment. Discover how ordinary elements like doors, windows, and even vegetation can be masterfully fortified, turning them into robust guardians of your safety. Picture learning to outthink intruders by understanding their tactics and turning your home into a labyrinth of safety they dare not tread. We delve into the subtleties of enhancing your home's defense through seemingly mundane details that make all the difference. Think about how the positioning of lights, the type of plants in your garden, and even the way you handle your keys can elevate your home's security to a new level. Next, we uncover innovative strategies to protect your family during the frightening scenario of a home invasion. Discover how the very design of your home can be your ally in unexpected ways, and why the conventional safe room might not be your best bet. You'll be surprised to learn how the structure of your walls can impact on your safety, and what is the one item you should have in every room to allow you to escape. Choosing the right firearm for home defense is more of an art than you might think. We'll guide you through this process, shedding light on why certain types may be more suited to your unique home layout and personal skills. But we won't stop there. The program offers a glimpse into the dynamics of indoor gunfights, learning the importance of movement, tactical positioning, and the psychological aspects of confronting an intruder. Uncover the subtle signs that your home might be targeted by burglars, including one everyday indicator that's commonly ignored. Some burglars specialize in identifying when the occupants are not at home to break in. Learn to manipulate the perceptions of would-be burglars with decoys, convincing them that your home is perpetually monitored and fiercely guarded. Discover the secrets of concealing your valuables in plain sight, transforming ordinary household items into ingenious hidden vaults. This knowledge ensures your most precious possessions remain undiscovered, outwitting any intruder who might penetrate your home's defenses. In the next section, we delve into the critical topic of protecting your home and family during riots. Learn about the unpredictable nature of large groups driven by intense emotions and how this can impact your home's security. In the anonymity of a crowd, even ordinarily decent individuals can commit unspeakable acts of violence. The location of your home plays a pivotal role during riots. We provide strategies to assess your home's risk based on its proximity to potential hotspots and how to adapt your defenses accordingly. You'll learn subtle yet effective ways to reduce the likelihood of your home being targeted, even if it lies in the path of a riot. You will master the technique of converting vulnerable spots in your neighborhood into strategic advantages during a riot. This proactive approach shifts you from a defensive stance to an empowered, tactical position, ready to protect your home and family. Additionally, you'll find out how you can gather information right from the middle of the rioters, allowing you to better plan your moves. We'll also guide you through reinforcing fences, gates, and other perimeter structures to deter rioters. We discuss how to use mobile fencing to channel rioters away from your house. We guide you through swift and effective ways to barricade doors and entry points using everyday items. These techniques provide strong barriers that protect your home, whether you decide to shelter in place or evacuate. Explore strategies to reinforce windows, turning these potential vulnerabilities into fortified elements of your home's defense. Learn how to prevent break-ins and protect against threats like Molotov cocktails, ensuring your home remains a safe haven even in the midst of chaos. Uncover the importance of vehicle modifications for enhanced safety. This crucial knowledge equips you for safer journeys through high-risk areas, ensuring you and your loved ones remain protected on the move. Learn about the stealthy guerrilla tactics that can deter rioters from targeting your home, employing covert strategies used by elite security forces around the globe. Discover how to make your residence virtually invisible to threats, maintaining your sanctuary's peace and security. Master the technique of using the terrain surrounding your home to your strategic advantage, boosting your mobility and survival chances during aggressive mob situations. Recognizing when to defend and when to evacuate is vital. We guide you through the subtle signs that signal it's time to leave discreetly and effectively. Gain insight into low-profile evacuation techniques, including drills and backup plans, and tips to secure your home when absent. Finding yourself caught in the middle of a rioting mob, whether in your car or on foot, could seem like a situation without exit. Our guide provides crucial insights on what actions to avoid if you want to escape alive, and shares key strategies to ensure the crowd ignores you, allowing for a safe exit from the chaos. For those with security systems, our guide offers specialized tips to modify these systems for early alerts in civil unrest scenarios, adding an extra layer of safety for you and your family. In the next section, we delve into the crucial topic of safeguarding your home and family in the face of a potential civil war, a scenario that's becoming increasingly conceivable. Discover the critical role your location plays in shaping your defense strategy, with unique considerations for both urban and rural settings. Learn about the distinct phases of conflict in such a scenario and how each phase demands a unique defense strategy. Guerrilla Home Defense helps you navigate each treacherous step, from protecting against drone and sniper attacks to blocking enemy advancements and close quarters combat. In a civil war situation, the team structure and leadership that served you well during riots may fall short. Uncover the key traits and strategies you need to incorporate to ensure your team's effectiveness in the more demanding and complex landscape of a civil war. Understand that many typical American homes might not naturally withstand the rigors of a civil war. Our program helps you evaluate your home's potential for fortification or suggests more practical alternatives, ensuring your living space can be a true safe haven. Explore tactics typically used in military operations, now adapted for personal defense, offering protection and strategic advantages in your environment. Guerrilla Home Defense goes beyond traditional security approaches, teaching you to continuously refine and strengthen your defense plans. Learn how to continuously adapt and enhance your strategies, making your position less detectable and more formidable. We guide you through setting up multi-layered protection systems, ensuring not just immediate safety but also long-term resilience. You will also learn the critical aspects of strategic home defense, including how to conduct a thorough security survey of your home or any other building that you choose as a strong point. We'll go into detail on what you can do to prepare your house and its surroundings to withstand a civil war. From how to identify the easiest positions to defend around the house, to how to barricade the windows and how to make mouse holes in the walls and setting fire positions in the attic. Discover how to utilize cover, concealment, and camouflage, using both natural and man-made structures to your advantage. Learn how to blend seamlessly into both natural and urban landscapes, ensuring you and your essentials are safeguarded from prying eyes. Acquire essential skills for minimizing detection through disciplined control of light and sound, coupled with effective movement strategies for navigating conflict zones. Discover how to move through open spaces undetected and choose defensive positions that offer safety and tactical advantages. We provide expert guidance on weapon selection, tailoring your arsenal for close to mid-range engagements, and practical insights in their usage in different scenarios. Develop crucial skills in information gathering and advanced reconnaissance, leveraging modern tools like drones and night vision. Learn to communicate swiftly and securely, keeping your team coordinated and informed at all times. Beyond Civil War scenarios, explore universal strategies for protecting your home against various threats. This section provides valuable advice applicable in everyday situations and extreme conditions alike. You will gain insights on how to effectively protect your home from the destructive power of fires, whether in everyday scenarios or in more extreme situations, like riots or civil war. Uncover the 3 essential items you should always keep in every bedroom for a quick and safe escape during a fire. Additionally, explore strategies for safeguarding your home against neighborhood fires that could potentially spread to your property, or in the event of direct threats, like Molotov cocktail attacks during protests. It's evident that no single safe room can provide optimal protection for every potential threat, whether it's a midnight intruder, an angry mob during a riot, a civil war, a devastating hurricane, or a severe flood. The most practical approach is to establish multiple spaces within your home, each tailored to a specific scenario. Our guide provides insights on transforming areas of your home into fortified spaces, detailing their setup, advantages, and necessary supplies for extended stays. In the realm of home security systems, we navigate the selection process, tailoring options to fit various budgets and needs, from basic sensors to sophisticated surveillance technologies. In our chapter on evacuation, you will discover the essentials for your family's bug-out bags, each item meticulously selected for maximum efficiency and survival. Explore a detailed 3-phase approach to emergency evacuation, ensuring that even if you are caught off guard, you always have on you the basic items to survive. Uncover the strategies for finding safe shelters in various scenarios, from motels to wilderness camping, and learn the art of leaving no trace. In the final section, we merge first aid with guerrilla tactics, teaching you how to turn everyday items into emergency medical tools. Imagine the power of being the lifesaver for someone suffering a traumatic injury when there is no other help around. Learn to assemble an effective first aid kit, diagnose and treat common traumatic injuries, and maintain your health in high-stress environments. This part of the program is filled with practical, life-saving knowledge for the most demanding situations. And this is just a tiny sample of the incredible useful content you will find in this program. By now you might be wondering how much you would have to pay to get to know all these home defense secrets. How much is it worth to you to be able to keep your family, your home, and even your community safe when nobody is there to protect you? This program prepares you for the absolute worst case scenario, and it gives you all the knowledge, power, and resources to overcome almost any type of aggression. You'll have the power to protect and save your family, even to be a defender of your community during the worst times. I mean, think about all the stuff you own. All your preparations, the food and water you store, the guns you own, not to mention everything else you have in your home and around it. Your whole life's gatherings can be lost in an instant if a burglar or worse, a band of looting rioters breaks into your home. And if you don't own much or don't value material things, think about your family. People who dare break into a house usually don't stop at stealing. If they have the opportunity, who knows what they might do to your wife or daughter. There are a lot of bad people out there set out to do harm. Could you live with yourself knowing that any member of your family was hurt because you failed to take the necessary precaution? You just can't put a price on that. This course is the distillation of decades of one-of-a-kind experiences in tactics and home defense. Richard and I did our best to make sure this is easy to follow for anyone and offers the best and most realistic solutions for most common situations where your home is in danger and you or a loved one's safety is at risk. Also, this special program prepares you mentally to deal with any type of potentially dangerous scenario. You will be able to react calmly and make the right decisions in any type of disaster situation when everyone else is losing their heads. By getting this guide, you're prepared for anything. You'll be sure that the money you spend on supplies or other preparations are not in vain. The 2020 study found that in the USA, a burglary occurs every 26 seconds, with an average loss of $2,500, and most often in rural areas, not cities. Consider the value of items in your home. In just a few minutes, an intruder could steal or damage things worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. We've asked some expert preppers what they think of the course, and most of them said they'd pay up to $500 for it. We've thought of doing that. We could have created a weekend workshop and charged $500 a seat or more. But that way we just couldn't reach all the people that need this program. Well, you're not going to have to pay that today. For us, this isn't about making money. It is about doing as much as we can to help decent people like you from getting hurt in the hard times that are ahead of us, and hopefully doing our contribution in saving this country from collapse. Sure, we like getting paid for our hard work, but this is not what it's about. It's not about making a huge profit. It's about helping people out. So that's exactly why this program isn't going to cost you $500. It's not even going to cost you $250. This is about making available this to as many Americans as we can, so they can be prepared for what it is about to come. That's why if this presentation is still up, you can get Guerrilla Home Defense at the special discounted price you see below. But hurry, because this exclusive offer is only available for a limited time. So, click the button below and get Guerrilla Home Defense program now. And that's not all. If you act today, I'm going to equip you with 3 vital survival guides absolutely free to make your Guerrilla Home Defense experience even more valuable. We're including 3 incredible bonuses. They're absolutely free when you get your Guerrilla Home Defense today. These bonuses provide crucial information to ensure you're prepared for any crisis situation. They'll elevate your home defense as well as your survival skills to the next level. Bonus 1. Smart and easy ways to purify and store clean water. With the tactics you've learned in Guerrilla Home Defense, you've secured your home. But what happens when you're cut off from a clean water supply, as it easily can happen during prolonged civil unrest or any other natural disaster? In this exclusive report, you'll master practical methods for purifying and storing clean water, ensuring you and your family will remain hydrated and healthy even when forced to stay indoors for extended periods. Unveil the simple yet profoundly effective methods to turn murky, bacteria-laden water into a crystal clear, refreshing lifesaver in any crisis. Never be at the mercy of disrupted water supply again with our foolproof, step-by-step guide to store vast quantities of clean water. Discover the single most overlooked ingredient that not only prolongs the shelf life of your stored water, but keeps it fresh and palatable. Bonus 2. 7 foods to stockpile. We can't forget the importance of nourishment during a crisis. This guide reveals the top 7 long-lasting and nutritious foods you need to stockpile. These will keep your family well-fed and healthy, strengthening your bodies and minds to tackle any emergency. They're the 7 vital foods that not only last almost forever, but also pack a nutritional punch to keep you and your family healthy and strong. Find out the common stockpiling mistake that most preppers make and how you can avoid it to ensure your food supply remains uncontaminated and safe. Bonus 3. Unlimited power. 5 cheap or for free energy sources for a crisis. Let's imagine a blackout situation caused by prolonged riots or the worst case scenario, a civil war. With the strategies from Guerrilla Home Defense, you will still be able to protect your home and your family. However, it would be much easier, and you would be more effective at identifying potential threats or using your communication devices if you had a stable source of energy. This unique guide unveils 5 inexpensive or free energy sources to keep your home powered when conventional sources fail, ensuring it remains operational and safe day or night. Dive into the practical guide on setting up each power source, so you're not left fumbling in the dark when a crisis strikes. Understand the essential safety measures required with each power source, ensuring your house remains a haven and not a hazard. Remember, these bonuses are designed to supplement your newly fortified home and survival strategies, turning you into the ultimate protector of your sanctuary. For the price listed below, get your copy of Guerrilla Home Defense and the 3 free bonuses. And you'll know not only how to protect your home and your family from common crimes like burglaries, thefts, or assaults on the street, but also what to do in far more complicated scenarios like riots or even civil war. You will manage to protect your family in most disaster situations, even if you are left with nothing. With the knowledge from this unique program, you'll even know what to do in case the government goes AWOL, or if the United States is overrun by a foreign power, or if you are caught in a terrorist attack or a mass shooting. Now remember, Guerrilla Home Defense is the only true, one-of-a-kind, step-by-step guide for protecting your family and your home in the worst of situations. And it's not available at any bookstore or elsewhere online. The only way to get your digital copy is to click the Add to Cart button below now. Protecting the lives of those you love is invaluable, so I won't compare the price of this program with that. Think of the value of the most common thing a robber would take from you if you don't know how to protect yourself. Your phone. This course is less than 1/10 of that. And here's the best part. Here's why the price doesn't even matter. I'm willing to take all the risk here. Get Guerrilla Home Defense right now and you're covered by our 60-day, 100% ironclad satisfaction guarantee. Here's the deal. Get the course. Go through it. Read it over as many times as you like. See what parts you find useful, and if you have any questions, you can always ask me about it in the members area. When you're done with it, you have to be 100% thrilled about it. If for any reason at all you want a refund, you have 60 days to return it and you'll get your money back ASAP. No questions asked. I figure that's enough time to go through the material and decide if it's right for you. You can only get Guerrilla Home Defense here if you click the Add to Cart button now. This course will not be available anywhere else, and there's no way of telling how much longer this presentation is going to be up. The way I see it, you have 3 options. You can hope nothing bad will happen, that burglars won't target your home, or your family won't be assaulted on the streets. You can hope that there won't be riots affecting your home, or that the current divide that is in the American society won't lead to civil war. You can hope that our surging national debt won't lead to a collapse of public services, and the police will be able to protect you from anything bad happening. So, you could keep hoping and do nothing. But you would be betting against reality, against hard numbers. According to statistics, 1 in 3 Americans will be victims of violent crime or property crime during their lifetime. And these statistics don't account for events like riots or civil war. It means that if you are married and have at least 1 child, one of you will probably face such a dreadful event sooner or later. With this knowledge in mind, I don't believe you can afford to do nothing, and not to prepare your family for such an event. And now we can talk about option number 2. You could try to do something by yourself. Go through months of research and painful planning. From my own experience, I can tell you that you will have to spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars on materials, only to find out that most of them are no better than fairy tale books. You will find a few nuggets of good information buried in a pile of useless or even dangerous advice that, if followed, will put you in far more danger than doing nothing. You can even hire a consultant that will charge you hundreds just to look at your house and probably tell you to install an expensive alarm system or to take self-defense classes. Sure, it beats doing nothing and praying that nothing bad will happen, but certainly it won't cover all your bases like option number 3, which is our one-of-a-kind program, Guerrilla Home Defense. It's the result of decades of one-of-a-kind experience and research, integrating in the same package solutions that will provide safety for your family and your home in almost any scenario. From common crimes like burglary, robbery, and assault to more complex scenarios like riots and civil war. Why waste all that time and energy when you can get an already proven survival plan here? You could get Guerrilla Home Defense right now. It's the only proven to work material out there. If you want your family to be secure, and you don't have peace of mind, then click the Add to Cart button and get this program now. So, there you have it. In this presentation, you've seen why we believe that the combination of a divided society, huge national debt, and inflation, with worldwide shortages of food that will lead to a wave of immigrants in the United States, are providing the conditions that will lead to a wave of violence that will probably culminate with civil war, causing many innocent people being hurt. You've seen undeniable proof that this scenario is already unfolding, leaving your family and your home vulnerable to unspeakable violence and destruction unless you take drastic measures. And I've shown you that our amazing program will give you peace of mind knowing you and your family will be forever prepared to respond to any violent event. Because it's the only real solution out there. Instead of starting from scratch and going through all that stress, you can try out Guerrilla Home Defense, a program where all the heavy lifting was already done for you. You'll have a complete home defense plan only if you click the Add to Cart button below right now. So go ahead, click the Add to Cart button right now and get Guerrilla Home Defense right away. It's the only already proven to work complete home defense program that's out there. It's the only responsible way to keep your family safe, and as I already showed you, you're not risking anything. So, get Guerrilla Home Defense right now, and I will be waiting for you in the members area.